The UK passed the Modern Slavery Act 2015. This law requires companies with a global turnover of GBP 36 million or more and that have a commercial organization in the UK to publish an annual slavery and human trafficking statement on its website, which is signed by a director setting out the steps the companies have taken to ensure there's no slavery and human trafficking in their supply chains. And my understanding of the supply chain would also include your international affiliates, including insofar as you might have a subsidiary or you may be a part of a consortium with a parent company headquartered in another country, including the United States. I'm going to need to see a follow up to this. Apparently, the original date of consideration was for fiscal year ending March 31st, 2016. Today would be 6 months after the 5 year anniversary. I just found two reports regarding the Democratic Republic of Congo, one of which discusses a humanitarian crisis associated with a recent volcano eruption. Apparently, it happened 3 months ago. But the other one discusses cleanup at a uranium mine concerning uranium that was provided for the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Wow, I'm alarmed. Do you think that under this United Kingdom law for Modern Slavery Act 2015, there would be any means or recourse available for addressing the matters that were outlined in this public announcement, specifically regarding people charged with guarding the mines to make sure that nobody was engaged in any efforts at illicit acquisition? It's especially disappointing to think that there was just an announcement as well that a number of people working with NGOs in Afghanistan might be availed of the possibility of receiving some assistance from a European nation that may also have subsidiary companies or be in a consortium with a parent company based out of the United Kingdom. I understand within the last 2 years there was an effort that was engaged by the regulatory authorities in the United Kingdom regarding businesses that had incorporated but had not passed a certain standard, including ones that might have involved shell accounts and offshoring, including in places that work through the Caribbean island nations and avail themselves of the special tax policies and other policies associated with working with the Caribbean area, right? So, I mean, if there was to be an announcement right now that something of this nature had to be attended to, that is one source and that is one factor that is already in the works. I will say for myself that I'm here in the United States doing what I can to follow up on my efforts at presenting a 13th Amendment argument to the Supreme Court of the United States regarding misjudgments that were made in handling unconstitutional activities that had been committed to by members of the legislature, specifically members of the Senate of the United States of America, and also refused to go on the record with an individual named acknowledgement or repudiation of the action that occurred. So I'm just letting you know it would be very, very possible right now to respond in that manner. This isn't just about finding some sort of acknowledgement on the website. Obviously, something like a Human Slavery Act would have a very comprehensive process. Might it be a comprehensive process that would be somehow connected to acknowledging the results of the follow up investigation to the loss of a database that I understand Scotland Yard had compiled regarding accusations of pedophilia that, for whatever reason, in the summer of 2016 were identified as having been missing? There was an announcement provided by the United Kingdom that a database that had been compiled for a considerable amount of time just went missing. You see, I was concerned at the time because that was around the time that there was a court order to terminate the database in the United States known as DAPA, which, not so ironically, is also the name of an organization that provides prescription medications to youth identified as having some sort of psychological problem am sure you can understand how the correlations might be of concern, especially if, as it was reported at the time, there was no backup. Would this have anything to do with today being 6 months after the 5 year anniversary of the passage of that act and there being an acknowledgement, or rather a call for somebody to respond to accusations that there might be a lack of safety ongoing in a uranium mining operation in a country that apparently has a humanitarian refugee crisis? That sounds pretty precise. I'm really hoping that today maybe somebody gets inspired to actually engage in the kind of mobilization and executive action that presumably they're qualified to provide even without trillions of dollars more of obligation. In fact, processes to respond to that should have already been set up, including should have been set up 5 years and 6 months ago, right? In one country. And I'm certain that all of the other factors that are ongoing at this time are totally prepared, capable, and confident in how to handle this and respond very expeditiously. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you 48 hours to respond directly and definitively. I need an official statement and plan of action on the record. This is not just connected to the United Kingdom. I'm here in the United States, but my understanding is that I'm the one that got the call. I'm the one that got the call. And you're the one that just hit the 6 month benchmark on the 5 year convertible on a fucking piece of legislation, presumably about human slavery. Which is why I know you're already prepared and you were just waiting for someone to formally acknowledge you.